Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Title Minute. On today's episode of the Title Minute, I'm going to show you how to create a property profile using our new Fidelity Passport system located at fidelitypassport.com. Now, if you don't have your Fidelity Passport login yet, make sure you go back and watch the first video that explains how to set up your user ID and password. And of course, you can always email me at titleisboring@fnf.com and we'll get you set up right away. Let's take it to Passport. Okay, now as you can see, I've already gone to fidelitypassport.com. I entered my username and password and I'm going to click on login. Now, the first screen that pops up here is find your subject property. Now, there's a couple different ways to search for a property on here. So you can search by property address, the mailing address of the owner, the APN, the intersection, or the owner names. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have to do to find our subject property, we're going to search by property address. We already showed you there's different ways to do that, but I'm going to enter a residential address in here. And we can search by city and state or just the zip code. So I'm going to type in the zip code. And as you can see, it populates with the zip code and the city. I'm going to go ahead and need to click on that before I click search to find that property. Now, it's very important that you have the specific property address and the city and state or the zip code, or else it might not actually find the property profile. Now, as you can see down here in the search results, it actually found our property address, but we don't have our property profile yet. It's pulling up the home. If I scroll over it, you can see it gives the APN information, the current vesting, and what the use type is. Okay, so now to customize our property profile, the likelihood is that on the left-hand side of the screen, you're actually going to see this menu bar right here. Now, if that menu bar doesn't exist, all you have to do is click over the subject property, click on subject property, and that menu is going to show up over here on the left. Now, let's take a look at how we can customize our property profile. So what are we going to include in our property profile? We have the different product bundles. So we have just the property profile, the cover photo and comps, or no bundle. Now, do we want to include the cover sheet? That's checked, so we do. We're going to include the property details, which is actually the characteristics of the property. We can do two different types of comparable sales report. Now, remember, when you're using title comparable sales, this includes everything that has been recorded, even properties that weren't listed on the MLS. So we can select quick view comps or detailed view. Quick view or both. You can actually select both if you'd like. A little self-explanatory. Including the transaction history gives you the chain of title. We can select an aerial map, either road or satellite. And by the way, at any time you don't want this, let's say you don't want comparable sales because you've done your own, I can just uncheck that and it won't show up in the property profile. That's how easy it is to customize this. We can include the nearby neighbors. We can include a property tax report. And this is, we'll get into this on another video, but this is super cool. It'll actually give us an estimated property tax value. So we're not going to include that right now. Now, here's something really cool. Document images. Fidelity Passport actually gives you free access to the recorded documents from the county. So if I click on document retrieval, it's going to pull up this window and it's going to have us go through and select which documents we want to include. And it says you'd like to purchase below. Don't worry about that. It's just the wording. There's no cost to this part of it. So you can see in here, you get to select which documents you want to include. And so we're just going to pick the grant deed and the mortgage on the new owner since there was a full value transfer here. And I'm going to select OK. Do we want to include the assessor map? Most people don't really know how to read it. Maybe we'll do a video on how to read a plat map later. So let's not include that. Of course, we can go back through. What are we going to select to include? And then all we have to do is click on Get Now. It's going to take a minute, especially, and by the way, it'll take even longer if you actually want to include those recorded documents because Fidelity Passport's actually going to go out to the county recorder and download those documents. So if it takes 30, 45 seconds or so, don't worry about it. That's normal. Okay, as you can see, what's going to happen once the profile is ready, it's going to open up a new window and it's going to look like this. And we can take a look at that. It gives us our property address, the APN, and the date that we pulled this profile. And the reason the date's important is it because it timestamps the comparable sales and what recorded documents are available. So it's giving us the legal description, the current ownership information, and you see over here where it says recorded doc number, and it has this hyperlink. If I click on that, it's actually going to pull up the recorded document. Under latest full sale information, under sale price, that's actually going to give you the sales price of the home. It's going to give you what liens are on the property and the property characteristics. So bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, 1 story, the car garage, the size of the lot, fireplace, things like that. And then of course, the tax and assessment information. The next part of the property profile is going to give us the comparable sales. And in another video, we'll show you actually how to edit the comparable sales in here, along with the area analysis. And then the transaction history report. Remember, all these different items are things that you can customize when you're creating the property profile. Transaction summary again, and then the details. So that's really the chain of title. And if we scroll down here to the end, towards the end, you have the aerial map. So it shows you the subject property of the house, pulled from Google, and the nearby neighbors. The nearby neighbors gives us the 15 closest homes to that property. And then at the very end of the report, it is going to provide those recorded documents because that's what we selected. Now, it's great. We have our property profile looking the way we want it. We'll do another video again on how to customize the comparable sales later. And so what is our options here to save this? So we can either email the report or convert it to a PDF. So if I click on email the report, I'm just going to enter an email address here at fnf.com. I'm going to enter my email address. Please see attached property profile, and that will actually send the email to my email address directly from the system. Okay, email successfully sent to the recipient. We can close the window. Now, what I personally prefer to do is I like to convert the file to a PDF so I have it saved on my desktop. And that's just a personal preference. So if you click on Save to PDF, it's going to go ahead and open another window and convert that property profile into a PDF for you. Pulls it up, 35 pages. And of course, depending upon what browser you're using, you just get to click on download and it saves it. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Title Minute. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for next week when we go into more details on how to utilize the Fidelity Passport system and customize your property profiles. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.